Welcome back, and let's get to that very first conversation for today, and that has to do with that defection of the governor of Akwa Ibom State, Pastor Umoh. And we'll be joined in the program by a member of the House of Representatives representing Ikotekpene, Esianudim Oborakara Federal Constituency, Honorable Patrick Umoh. Honorable Patrick, thank you so much for coming on the program.
Thank you so much, my brother.
Thank you for coming, especially because I know you're in transit and you had to catch up with this conversation because of how important it is. I know you've been in the APC, correct me if I'm wrong, so it's now like, this is like baking of a big cake for the people, for the All Progressives Congress, and especially for the Senate President who has been a member of the party in that sense. From where you sit and from what you know, what does this defection really mean? And was this necessary for the governor? Because the reason I'm asking that question is given his reasons. He said he's always admired the president when he was a young man working in Lagos. He's been admirer of the president. And so he cannot be in hiding in supporting the president and constitute anti-party activity on one hand. The other hand, he said, look, what is playing out in my party, I do not want to win election tomorrow. And then something happens about who signed off on my form and I lose the seat. Is that tenable enough for you?
Absolutely. The PDP is informatus. And so for every reasonable politician, the best option is the APC. And Mr. President has given Nigerians enough reasons to embrace the All Progressives Congress. Looking at the renewed hope agenda for Nigeria, it is just absolutely necessary for a good politician in the frame of His Excellency Governor Umoh to join the President of the country in the All Progressives Congress in realizing the Arise agenda of the governor and the renewed agenda of Mr. President. So for me, it is the best idea. And as a strong member of the APC, I welcome Mr. Governor and the eminent politicians from Akwa Ibom who have joined the APC. It is also necessary to take Akwa Ibom to the center in partnering with the efforts of the President of the country and the President of the Senate, who are consummate members of the All Progressives Congress. So for me, it is the petition of Mr. Governor and the top politicians in Akwa Ibom.
Yeah, this is a strategic move objectively, or this is a gamble that may boomerang. The reason I said his predecessor, Udom Emmanuel, the former governor, didn't move with him. I understand, to the best of my knowledge, no member of the ESCO of the PDP moved with him. I know that Umoh Mabong had resigned, but other commissioners had moved as well. Mr. Noidem, who is a grassroots man, and is from your federal, within your part of the country, didn't move with him. And Akwa Ibom generally, just like some states are organically a particular political party, they are organically PDP in that sense. Do you think that the governor, what if something goes wrong with this?
I doubt this pessimistic view of yours. I also know that those who matter moved with the governor. The members of the House of Assembly all moved with the governor. And the members of the State Executive Council all moved with the governor, except Mr. Umoh. So I think it is strategic for the governor to move to the APC at this time, and he has done so. And we're optimistic that this is a very strategic move that can reposition the state and that can complement the efforts of the state governor with what Mr. President is doing for the country. So it is strategic, it is necessary, and I'm optimistic that Mr. Governor and Akwa Ibomites will enjoy this strategic move or decision by the governor. So for those who have not moved, well, the Constitution guarantees freedom of association, which of course the governor has explored. So I'm not looking at that way. I'm only positive about the governor's decision to join my party. My party is a wonderful party. and the manifestos that we have at the party, respectively, merge or can possibly blend with what the governor has in his Arise agenda. So if you blend the Arise agenda with the renewed hope agenda of the president, you will agree with me that it is the best decision for my state. So I don't think we should be bothered about who has not moved, but we should be bothered about those who have moved and help Akwa Ibom to be linked to the center. The president of the Senate, for instance, has done so much for my state and has the popularity, has the political clout, and the governor also has the political clout that can win elections for the party 2027. I think that's what matters.
This is good news for you as a member of the APC. Let's bring in a Kemni who is a legal practitioner who has been watching the space as well. I think he even did some analytics online about this defection. Mr. Kemni, thank you so much for joining us on the program. Mr. Kemni, if you can unmute your device.
Thank you. Oh, sorry.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
All right, fantastic. Let's catch up with you on your view. How do you characterize this movement of the governor? And of course, the members of the State House of Assembly moving with him, members of the National Assembly, and the legalese around it. Mr. Kemini, that question is for you, if you can hear me. Question for the Honorable Umoh, while we sort out the Kemini's network.
Yeah, so Honorable Umoh, I've been following your line of thought, and you've pretty much lauded the governor's move. But in his own words as well, or according to, permutations, if you like, this is strategic as it would attract federal presence and resources to Akwa Ibom State. But are we then saying that without defection, governors in the opposition party cannot get what is due to them in terms of allocation? And Akwa Ibom is an oil-producing state, resource, derivation resources, and, other statutory developmental infrastructure like the deep sea port that Akwa Ibom is advocating. So without defection, can't these things have come to them as a right due to them as a state in the Federal Republic of Nigeria?
Well, this is party politics, and you will agree there are competing interests. So the proximity in relating with a fellow party man is as wonderful as you can imagine. So the point is that linking Akwa Ibom to the center is a sure deal. Akwa Ibom has produced the president of the Senate, and it is clearly ingenious for the governor to complement the efforts of the president of the Senate in attracting development to Akwa Ibom. So it is not exactly that other Nigerians will not take benefit of dividends of democracy because they're not members of the All Progressives Congress. But like I said earlier, freedom of association is clearly a constitutional issue. And the governor has decided that to his benefit and that of the state. So it is just sounding pessimistic for someone to say, I'm not a member of the APT, and so I may not benefit from federal government presence. But then it is clear that in relating politically, you can take benefit when you associate properly with the stakeholders of the party and the manifestos of your party. So I'm thinking that this is strategic for the governor and in the interest of my state. So that's the point.
So Honorable Umoh, if Akwa Ibom did not defect, if the Akwa Ibom governor did not defect, he wouldn't get these benefits. Is that what you're saying? And are you, by extension, also saying that the APC is somewhat dictatorial in its approach to governance?
I haven't said so. Those are your words.
No, I'm asking.
I'm asking.
I didn't conclude, Honorable Umoh. I am asking a question. I didn't conclude.
Oh, that's fine. I don't want us to get this convoluted. The idea is that the governor has joined the Young Progressives Congress, and his intention is for the even development of Akwa Ibom State and to link Akwa Ibom to the center. I think this is just strategic. I'm looking at the positive ends of all of these decisions, which is exactly that we have better things for our state when we have sure cooperation between our state and the government at the center. So trust me, this is the best decision the governor has taken. It's strategic and it is in the interest of my people. That's my concern. I'm not going to be very pessimistic about anything. I am looking at the future, and I am excited that the governor is in my party and that Akwa Ibom is now APC.
All right, Honorable Umoh, because we've always asked this question, so help us here. So what will be, let's just say the governor wins the second term of his re-election and he goes all the way to 2031. What will be the measure, what will be the mark to say this is the major benefit of moving from the PDP to the APC? One of the biggest projects that we know that has been a bit controversial, difficulty getting to roll on, getting to get by, is the issue of the deep sea port. Should Akwa Ibom might now use the deep sea port as a parameter to measure the gains of this defection, or is there any other thing that will be used as a parameter? Because it looks like he could have done it either way.
Well, we're looking at the comparative advantage of joining the APC. It is linking the state to the center. Whatever benefit can come will surely come. You know, I don't want to speculate, but I think that as a people, Akwa Ibom will be excited to have a deep sea port, and that concluded. So I think a partnership with the federal government can enhance this. Now, if I want to go the way you're asking, it will sound like saying that the deep sea port existed because we are members of the APC. That's a natural endowment to Akwa Ibom. Akwa Ibom is rich in its coastal belt. And so if we're in APC and we can attract federal government to provide an enabling environment for the smooth takeoff of the deep sea port, then that's fine and that's good politics. So I thank my governor for being forthright and foresighted in joining the APC so that we can actualize these goals and these objectives for the people of Akwa Ibom State.
So Honorable...
Okay, go ahead, Bukola.
Honorable Umoh, who is the leader of the All Progressives Congress in Akwa Ibom State now by this defection?
Well, clearly, the president of the Senate is from Akwa Ibom, and we have a governor who is also now a member of the APC. The governor has just joined the APC, and I can't speak for the APC. The natural, the facts are clear. So having two great leaders who will navigate the affairs of the party, these are two great leaders. So we're optimistic that both of them will lead the state. It is not in my place to decide who is leader, but I know that I have the president of the Senate who represents me as the senator of Akwa Ibom Northwest, and I have the governor also in my party. So the issue of leadership is not an issue at all.
We know that in Nigeria's political parlance, the governor of a state is the leader of the political party for which he represents in that state. So in Nigerian parlance, yet again, can there really be two captains in one ship? And that is one of the questions that is shaping this defection of Governor Umoh Eno. So will the Senate president allow him to lead the APC? Will he give him a free hand to lead the APC in Akwa Ibom State going forward?
Well, the president of the Senate is my leader, my senator, indeed, the most prominent constituent of mine. I know him as a very liberal politician. I know him as a man who sees the future. I call him the political Nostradamus because when he left in 2018 to join the APC, most of the Akwa Ibom did not understand his vision, his focus. But today, the decision of the president of the Senate to join the APC after 2018 is validated by the decision of the governor to join the APC. Yeah. So I know him to be a very flexible politician. I know him as a man who is ready and willing to work with the governor, and I can see that complementarity. So I don't have a problem. I don't envisage any problem at all. I know that everything will take shape when we sort out all outstanding issues.
All right, Honorable Umoh, I know you have a flight to catch, so we'll try to release you as soon as possible. The reason why we are digging down, digging deep and holding on to this question, because we have example presently. Look at what's playing out in Benue State. They may want to pretend about it, but it is what it is. George Akomedi, SGF, and the governor of the state, Hyacinth Elia, that Cold War, you see what played out in Rivers State that culminated in the state of emergency. Now, the governor came in as a businessman, political neophyte, and in 2 years of being a governor, he has made a very important political decision. When I say important now, whether it's for and against, but it's a huge, okay, that's the word I was looking for, a huge political decision. But you have been in this game for longer as a politician. You've represented your people for a longer time. And you know Godswill Akpabio, the Senate President, too well. He's been governor 2 times and a minister, and now Senate President, number 3 man in the country. If you were to give the governor a bit of an advice in this space, what would you tell him?
Well, there are 2 leaders, and I'm not sure this is going to be any contentious issue at all. So we will navigate the compass clearly as a party, and I know that these 2 leaders have the capacity to take us to the center. That's our interest. I'm not sure leadership should be a problem.
All right, Honorable. Okay. Honorable, so just before we let you go, let's walk through some of the issues around structure. We know, as a matter of fact, Godswill Akpabio, being the leader of the party before now, has control of the structure at the local government level. Now the governor has come in. If there is anything that has always brought war between people, I mean political class, it has to do with the issue of structure. Who is going to be controlling the structure at the local level right now that Umoh has decided to join the APC?
Well, I'm not sure that meeting has been held yet. I think it is actually too early to begin to worry about some of these issues that you have raised. It sounds very premature. I think the 2 leaders that my state has been blessed with are people who understand politics and are willing to work together. The major thing is that they have agreed to work together. I know the president of the Senate very closely. I haven't worked with him for many years. And I also know the governor of Akwa Ibom State. So I don't see a problem because the political temperaments both of them have exhibited do not seem to suggest that there will be a problem in dragging who should be leader or who should not be leader. So I think Akwa Ibom is a mega project that both of them are interested in. And I think that should be the concern of Nigerians.
All right, Honorable Ekemini Umoh, thank you so much for the time you've given to us, given the fact that you are in transit. Thank you, and wish your party the very best. Honorable Patrick Umoh, I almost joined the names together. There's a lot of Umoh and Enos, and my apologies. Honorable Patrick Umoh is the member representing Ikotekbene Esienudim Oborakara Federal Constituency in Akwa Ibom State. Thank you, sir, for coming on the program. We wish you the very best and safe trip.
Thank you so much.
All right, let's bring in Bryce Ekemini Udim, who is a legal practitioner, if we could catch up with him. Mr. Ekemini, are you there? Can you hear us, Mr. Ekemini?
Yes, I'm here. I can hear you.
Well, sincere apologies. We needed to chat up with him because of his movement. But I'm sure you heard everything he said. Maybe your quick response and how you characterize this defection of the governor and members of the Assembly and members of the National Assembly. So the 3 senators in the states are now members of the APC.
Well, I listened to my learned friend, Honorable Dr. Patrick Umoh. Expectedly, my learned friend will be very excited about the defection of the governor. It's a big catch, you know, from the PDP to the APC, almost effortlessly. So his excitement is well expected. But, you know, when you look at the reasons given, for me, the reasons are not such that are so convincing. When you talk about the governor's admiration for the president of the country, which is a good thing, but you ask the question, at what point are you admiring the president? We saw clearly that the president was the candidate of the APC shortly before the election. Perhaps that would have also been a good time to jump ship, move from the PDP, join the APC in total admiration of the person of Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. So when you talk about the admiration of the president as being one of the very significant reasons for leaving your political party and joining the president's political party. I don't think a lot of people will be very convinced about that. Now you talk about the signing of form. You know, my governor has said he's not sure who is going to sign his form building up to the 2027 election. And I ask, is this the first time the PDP is having problem? You know, has PDP never resolved its internal problems before? And if you watch the video clips of the gala night that was held a few days ago at the banquet hall here in Umoh, you would see the national secretary of the PDP in attendance, the senator that is the national secretary of the PDP. He was in attendance. Does that look like someone that is not going to sign the form of the governor when the time comes for the submission of the forms? So I don't think that the issue of who is going to sign forms of the PDP at the national should be a problem, because if PDP has issues now, which for me it's not an issue. Why? Because the Supreme Court has spoken, has said that Senator Anyanwu is the General Secretary of the PDP, and that is settled. And certainly that is the person that is going to sign. INEC today, when you take form to INEC, INEC is interested on who signed. And you can see that so far, INEC has been insisting that it has to be Senator Anyanwu. So I think that that was not supposed to be an issue. It is an issue that is certainly going to be resolved before the 2027 general election. My governor also spoke about the dividends of democracy. And Bukola did ask, must you be a member of the president's political party before you can have dividends of democracy for your people? I think the answer is no. If we are running a democracy, then irrespective of the political party that I belong, I should be able, number one, you are getting allocation every month from the center. And as governor of the state, I should be more interested in how the allocation is being spent to touch down on the lives of the people. Recall that the present minister of the FCT, Nyesom Wike, when he was the governor of Rivers State, he kept saying that he had no business in Aso Rock Villa. That was his position. He said his concentration is on Rivers State. That when he gets the allocation for Rivers State, his concentration is to ensure that he uses that money to affect the lives of the people of Rivers. And you saw what he did. And that's what I think that every governor should be more interested in. That is, when you get the allocation, which is given across party line, it doesn't matter the political party you belong. When you get the allocation, you use it effectively in running the affairs of your people. Now, if we cannot get the approvals for evacuative seaports, even as we have the Senate president as the number 3 person in Nigeria, then what are we talking about? I think that the position of the Senate president is enough. And I'm sure the Senate president is not keeping quiet over it. I'm sure he has been doing 1 or 2 things about getting all the approvals for evacuative seaport. Don't forget that successive governments have been giving approvals. It's not something that we're going to start from the scratch. Don't forget also that Akwa Ibom is not expecting the federal government to come and construct the seaport. All we need is approvals. The construction is going to be done by Akwa Ibom government and also with technical partners. And so when we keep talking about the Ibom Deep Seaport as being the basis for moving to the center, and by the way, where is the center? If the center is not in the Niger Delta region where the oil money is from, where the revenue for sustaining Nigeria is from, then what are we talking about? So I just think that most of the reasons given by my governor are not strong and convincing enough. Yes, the governor could have simply said, I am leaving to join the APC because I have the constitutional rights of freedom of association and I can move and join any political party at any time. And also, the Constitution of Nigeria, sadly, does not have consequence for a governor that defects. It only punishes legislators that defect. So the governor had no much explanation to have made, because most of the explanations that he made, with due respect to him, don't really seem to sit well with a lot of Nigerian citizens. It would have been a simple thing. I am joining because I have the rights.
Let's look at the implications of this defection on a wider scale now. You know, some would say that even those who have not defected or those who are planning to defect but have not disclosed their intentions, you know, have very little consequence because the PDP is only the APC branch in another color or shade. So it's the danger of this gradual slide into a one-party state that is a bigger concern for which we should be reflecting on and probably taking action on, in order to stem this slide. So what are your thoughts on the danger of sliding into a one-party state, particularly amid concerns expressed by those who are rallying to form a coalition that INEC is sitting on the applications of political interested parties in forming new political parties?
Well, if INEC is sitting on the application of persons that want to come together to challenge what we may call the status quo in Nigeria, then it's so sad. INEC should behave like a public institution funded by taxpayers' money, and every application that comes and meets the requirements, the criteria set by the law and set by the internal regulations of INEC, INEC should register that political party. It shouldn't be the concern of INEC, who should have the upper hand in any election and so on. INEC should give free hand to anybody because, after all, I did say it is about the rights to freedom of association. And so if people want to come together and then form a big umbrella, after all, the president of Nigeria, he did the same thing a few years ago when he, out of considering the political landscape in Nigeria, brought, I think, 3 political parties together to form the APC, and that gave them the leverage to be able to challenge the PDP, that was the biggest political party at the time. So INEC does not have that discretion in law to outrightly refuse any application that has been rightly, presented to them. I am not afraid that Nigeria is going to turn into a one-party state. I'm not afraid of that. Why?
So Mr. Odin,
in the last election,
Nigerians can challenge INEC in court for its delay in approving applications for the formation of new political parties. Is that an option open?
No, Nigerians can do that. In the past, INEC had deregistered some political parties, and those that were affected went to court. The courts are there to look at the position of the law, look at the procedure. If the criteria had been met, then you have no reason than to register the political party. There is no cap. This is not the military way we had the SDP and the NRC only. Now, everybody that wants to form a political party, if it meets the criteria, it is allowed. Any political party existing that wants to, come together and form a mega political party, INEC has no option than to allow them. So anybody that feels aggrieved about it can certainly get to the courts.
All right, Mr. Kemini, I'm sure that the dynamics of our politics and the polity is going to be interesting in the coming days. This is just the very beginning. And we still have close to 2 years before the next general elections. In fact, by this time next year, the campaign season would have started heating up across board. But we must thank you for coming on the program, as always, bringing your perspective and your insight on the program. Kemini is a legal practitioner who joined us virtually from Umoh, the Akwa Ibom State capital. Thank you, sir.
Many thanks for having me.